For example, if you keep your hand nearer to the TV, even after switching off, your hair on your hands will attract towards the TV screen. That means it is also emitting some energy. It is also called as a radiation. See, generally, what kind of radiation is reaching to us? Generally, sun releases different kinds of rays onto the into the space, but a very small or minute fraction of it is received by the earth. What kind of rays we are receiving? We are receiving many forms of rays, just like UV rays, means ultraviolet rays, radio waves, X rays. So all of them we are getting from the sun. See, but we can't see the ultraviolet rays, or we can't see the radio waves or X rays. Don't try to see them because they are very harmful. But we can't feel or we can't see them. But these kind of rays are released by the sun. So the energy which is uh, emitted by the sun, whether it is uniformly emitted throughout the year or not, that is another question for us. The energy emitted by the sun throughout the year is not the same. Sometimes it may be more, or sometimes it may be less. On in a same day, for example, also there is no uniformity of the sunlight or heat. For example, suddenly the temperature may increase, or suddenly rainfall may occur. Even after the rainfall, sometimes again the sun's rays reach onto the surface on large scale, and hotter conditions may be created. That means in the same day itself, there is no uniformity in emission of the in receiving the sun rays. But the sun also like that. Sun never release the same amount of energy throughout the year. Sometimes it may be more, or sometimes it may be less. But the energy whatever released by the sun or emitted by the sun is not received by the earth. A very little part of the energy received from the sun by the earth. The amount of energy received by the earth is in the form of a different rays is called as insolation. What is it? Insolation. What is meant by insolation? Insolation means incoming solar radiation. Solar radiation means solar energy. Incoming, coming onto the earth. Incoming in the sense coming onto the earth. We can understand that the energy which is coming onto the earth is incoming solar radiation. The amount of energy received by the earth from the sun is called as insolation or incoming solar radiation. See, the energy emitted by the sun is entirely not received by the earth. Only 1 by 2000 of the energy emitted by the sun is received by the earth. The remaining 1999 parts of energy will be emitted into the other parts of, scattered into the other parts of the atmosphere. Space, not atmosphere. So now let us see a picture here. Greenhouses. What are greenhouses? Generally, energy is required for anything. If there is no heat, we already discussed about it. We can't have any plant life or any vegetation. Sometimes in the very cold regions, the heat may not be sufficient for growing different kinds of plants. So that they create the artificial environment by arranging some special greenhouses which can hold the radiation or the temperature for a long time, and they create the marshy environment for growing crops like paddy and irrigating the fields. It is generally this type of vegetation is greenhouse vegetation is possible for growing different kinds of vegetables and fruits, especially grapes and other fruits, for other fruits and creepy vegetables, creepy plants. It will be possible for maintaining this type of greenhouses. Now let us come to the energy, how we are receiving, how much part of energy we are receiving. Say for example, if the energy, that means insolation means coming towards the earth is 100 units. For example, it is 100%. It reaches only 51 units of the energy to the earth. Before it is reaching onto the earth, 49% will be reflected. Some amount of energy, that means 6% of energy is reflected by the atmosphere, and 20% is reflected by the clouds. Before reaching onto the earth, only the clouds reflect 20%, and 4% of the insolation will be reflected by the earth surface immediately reaching onto the earth surface. And before it, 16% of it will be absorbed by the atmosphere, and 3% will be absorbed by the cloud cover, and 7% becomes the condensed air or rising air. 3%, 7% will be taken by the rising air. Here, 64 totally 64% is radiated into the space from the clouds and the atmosphere, and 6% is radiated directly into the space from the earth. Totally 70% will be reflected and radiated into the space when it is reaching onto the surface. Only 30% will be received. What is that 30%? The 30% which is absorbed by the land is called as albedo. See, just the earth like a mirror, it also reflects. If you keep the mirror under the sunlight, it reflects the light onto the wall. At our childhood, we also played such games. So in the same way, the earth also reflects when the sunlight reaches onto the earth's surface. See, further, some portion of it is scattered and absorbed in the higher reaches of the atmosphere. Already we have discussed about it. Some harmful rays of sun, just like ultraviolet rays, they don't reach onto the ground, because this made the life possible on the earth, because of some of the ultraviolet rays are stopped by the ozone layer, and some of them are stopped by different obstacles, just like cloud cover and other possible for reflection of it. Some amount of solar rays are also absorbed or reflected away by the clouds, smoke, dust. Dust also will be there in the atmosphere. See, in the way of the sunlight, in the morning time, if you observe, if you open the window which is facing towards the sun, in that the light beams fall through the window into the room. Along with the light beams, we also can see some smoke and dust in the atmosphere in that light clearly. We can notice it on cloudy days, and it does not get very hot. So generally, there are clear skies. On a clear sky day, that means if there is no cloud, the earth's rays and heat reaches onto the earth's surface in the first picture. The second picture, the cloud cover reflects some of the sun's heat back into the space, because the clouds are stopping. Only some of the heat reaches onto the earth's surface. We can see it clearly in this picture. See, generally, what is the reason for variations on the temperature? We have a doubt. Okay, till now we have discussed about the insolation and solar energy. Now let us come to the differences in the heat from place to place. What is the reason? Generally, the sun and the earth, sun is both of them are the celestial bodies. So the earth is revolving around the sun. Sometimes it comes closer and sometimes it moves farther. When it comes nearer to the sun, the distance between the sun and the earth is 147 million kilometers. When it moves farther, the distance between the sun and the earth is 152 million kilometers. On average, 149.5 or 150 approximately million kilometers. But axis, what is meant by axis? Axis means, just you can see the axis here. Just a minute. You can see I will show you how axis is. See, this is the axis. This is North Pole and this is South Pole. See, both of them are connected with the axis. See, sometimes, see, but we cannot see this axis. Actually, the axis should be in this way. But there is an inclination. How much it is inclined? 23.5 degrees inclination in the axis of the earth. So, sometimes some part of the earth comes towards the sun. Here, for example, which is came towards the sun. See here, Tropic of Cancer is facing towards the sun, directly facing to the sun. Here, the vertical rays of the sun is falling over them. But on the Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle, here the sun's rays falling slantly or inclinedly. They are not falling directly. See, they are directly falling on the Tropic of Cancer and equator. That means here the intensity of heat will be more. The intensity of the heat will be more. Very hot conditions we can observe. But here it is receiving inclined rays. So the temperature here and here will be less, but here will be more. Always the equator will receive the vertical rays of the sun. So the variations of the temperature will be seen here. See, sun's rays directly fall over the equator throughout the year. See here, the angle is inclined on both the sides. Here it is the tropical zone. In between this tropical zone and the equator, it receives the high temperatures because of the vertical rays of the sun fall over them. Now let us come to the sun's rays and the inclined rays. Here they are receiving, if you observe here, inclined rays of sun receives it takes a large area. For example, if you are going to school in the morning, you can observe the shadow. It takes a long area. But when you are going home for lunch in the afternoon, your shadow will under your feet. That means the inclination is very less. Vertically, sun rays are falling over you in the afternoon. But whereas in the morning and evening, while you are going to your home in the evening also, you feel a long shadow. A large shadow can be observed behind you or in presence of you. That means, see, it takes a larger area. Long distance will be taken by the sun's rays to fall onto the ground. But and it seems to be inclined in shape. Incline means slant, valuga, slope. But whereas, see, on the equator and also in the afternoon of every area, we will feel, see here, the sun's rays directly fall over us. That's why in the afternoon we will feel very intensity of heat, very hot in condition. But whereas in the morning and evening, inclined rays are there, and it takes a large area to fall on it. So the distance, large distance or long distance and large area is needed, so that the temperature will be, the intensity of heat will be very less, and the insolation also will be very less during the morning and evening time when compared with the afternoon time. See, what is the reason for it? Because of the variations, why there is no uniformity of heat? Because the only reason is nothing but the curvature of the Earth's surface. The curvature of the Earth's surface. Earth seems to be curved in shape. So the curvature of the Earth's surface causing for all these variations on the Earth's surface. For example, if the direct sun rays falls on the ground, there will be high energy, and if the it takes the slant rays or the inclined rays are falling on the earth, then it will be less heat. It gives us less insolation. Earth receives less insolation, and it gives us less heat and less energy. So that, see, the curvature of the due to the curvature of the Earth's surface, the small amount of solar energy falls on the small area and on the equator, and higher amount of energy on the large area, just like poles and other areas. Thus it will get warmer on the equator than nearer the poles. You can also see that while the sun rays fall about 90 degrees on the equator, they fall slantingly towards the poles. See here, equator. At the equator we can see direct rays are falling 90 degrees. But here slantingly, it is taking a long distance. Slantingly, it is receiving slant rays of the earth. Here the vertical rays of the earth. See, if you for example, if you want to know about the intensity more, just you listen an example. Do you know magnifying lens, both of them? If you keep under the sun, then under it, if you keep a paper, within 5 to 10 minutes the paper will burn, because of the intensity is received by the magnifying lens and fallen on the paper. That means it is producing more heat due to the high intensity, because of it brings the waves nearer to each other. But whereas if you keep the paper under the sun or any other glass for a long time, it won't burn, because of it is basing on the angle. Due to the intensity of the heat, the high energy will be there, high insolation will be there. It is depends upon the angle of incidence. If the 90 degrees between the sun and the earth, then there will be high temperatures when you compare with the other. If the decrease, that means the inclination takes place, or slant rays of sun is received due to the angle of incidence, then the earth receives less intensity of heat, less insolation. Now let us see a table how the temperatures are found in different areas. So for example, this is the chart which shows us about the angle of incidence, which makes us the amount of energy received on the Earth's surface. If the insolation received at the equator means 0 degrees latitude. Latitudes are the horizontal lines, addu geetalu. Longitudes are the vertical lines, niluvu geetalu. See here, it's on the globe. These are drawn on the globe, imaginary lines. Let us see at what degrees, what kind of temperatures, and how the insolation is there. So due to the angle of incidence, how the insolation is changing. On the Earth's surface, 45 degrees, 0 degrees means the equator. 0 degrees means the equator. Either sides of the equator at 45 degrees. See, in the northern hemisphere, what is that? Japan. Japan receives 75 units of insolation, 75 units of energy, which is 75% of the insolation reaching onto the Earth's surface. Heat, 70%, 75 units of heat will be received, insolation is received. But at 66.5 degrees means Arctic and Antarctic circles. At the Arctic and Antarctic circles, it is receiving only 50 units of insolation. That means half of the insolation. Whereas at 90 degrees, that means the north side 90 degrees north pole and south side south pole. Both of them are the fixed points. They are only receiving 40 units of energy. 40 units of insolation. Even though more intense sun rays fall on the equatorial region, it is usually cloudy there after the midday. For example, you can observe the cricket matches in Kenya and West Indies. So we will have the very hot climatic conditions or very hot weather conditions during the daytime up to the midday. Suddenly, there will be a rainfall and cricket matches may be cancelled in the afternoon. What may be the reason? Just the clouds also follow them because of the in the equatorial region there are no specific seasons. Equatorial region receives more insolation. It also evaporates more amounts of water vapor, and condensation is also more when it reaches to the maximum extent in the atmosphere. Again, it falls onto the ground as the rainfall. Mostly more than 310 days, rainfall can be seen in the equatorial region. Every day rainfall is possible in the equatorial region. There is no specific season in the equatorial region. Okay, next. But in the equatorial region, cloud cover is also takes place in the afternoon and rainfall also takes place, so that the sun rays fall on the ground is less when you compare with the tropics, not with the other regions. Tropics are besides the equatorial region. Hence, the equatorial regions are not as warm as the regions immediately north and south of them. Just now I told you tropics. Tropics are immediately north and south of the equatorial region. North side tropic of Cancer and south side tropic of Capricorn. In between the tropic of Capricorn and tropic of Cancer, this is called the tropical region. Either sides of the equator, tropical regions are there. As the earth goes round the sun in the course of the year, the angle of incidence constantly changes, because already I told you about the inclination of the earth. Thus, the angle of incidence increases in the north during the months of November, December, and decreases in the months of May and June. Now, let us see this picture. The earth is revolving round the sun. Sun is here. See, while it is revolving, if you observe, here the north pole is facing towards the sun and south pole is not facing. South pole under the blue region. See here, if you observe, north pole is in shadow and the south pole is facing to the sun. That means while it is revolving around the sun, sometimes for 6 months north pole faces the sun, for 6 months south pole faces the sun. During these 6 months, for example, from March 21st to September 23rd, north pole faces the sun. There will be, on the north pole, there will be never sunset in these 6 months. But whereas from September 23rd to March 21st, there will be no night for southern hemisphere, south pole. That means for Antarctica. Here at the poles, 6 months daytime for them, 6 months night time for them. Because of the inclination of the axis of the earth. See, already I told you there is an inclination of the axis of the earth at 23.5 degrees. How many degrees inclination is there? 23.5 degrees inclination of its axis. So, sometimes north pole faces the sun, sometimes for 6 months south pole faces. But on March 21st and September 23, these 2 days, the entire earth gets equal days and equal nights. So these 2 days, March 21st and September 23rd, are called as equinoxes. Both of them are called as equinoxes. Equal length of days and nights are found on these